Be Ministries. Where did that name come from?
Free to Be. Well, it was the name of my band in Paducah, Kentucky, where I'm from, and we actually got it from Ellen. She did this kind of thing, Free to Be in Ellen Nation. Oh, but we actually had the name Free to Be before that, but we picked on them, when that came to be, we thought, well, that'd be a great name for a band, Free to Be, and so that's kind of how the name came to be and to live on to even just having our band back in Paducah. So we want to promote individualism.
And you're free to choose God.
Yeah, free to choose what you want, not what society says. So that's our huge message.
What are your names?
Oh, right. I'm CJ.
And I'm Kim French.
Okay. And you were discussing where you all are from, so would you like to give a little more background about how did you get involved in music and where you come from?
Sure. I'm originally from here, but I moved to Paducah, Kentucky, and have lived there for almost 14 years. And we moved back here. It'll be 4 years on 11/11. Actually, next Saturday is our benefit, and that's our anniversary of coming here. And so
you went to Michigan, didn't you, for music?
Yes. So anyway, we I don't know, I forgot this question now.
The question is, how did you get started in music?
Yes.
And how did you come to be here?
Right. So it's a long story because oh my God, music has been forever in my life, and so as in becoming a ministry, when I was disabled, that changed my whole life and kind of made me look at some things and look within myself and to look to the higher power and to God, and so what brought us into church again, which I had been totally out of church for so many years, and I played in a lot of cover bands throughout my career, and played secular music, and now I'm a singer-songwriter and have been working on fourth album, which we're going to start here soon this winter, and so we're happy about that. So it's a long history, but mainly this ministry, Free to Be Music Ministries, started in April of 2016. But we had been playing in church for several years. That's how I met CJ. In Paducah, Kentucky, at church, and
I kept leaving, and then I'd come back. I'd leave, and I'd be like, okay, bye-bye. And then God would touch my heart, and it was like, you need to go and play some music. You need to go see her and do that. I did that with her for 3 years prior to Free to Be.
To moving here,
Yeah.
What's your music?
Yes, what's your music background?
I started private lessons at 6 and went on to win some really meaningless awards. And then I got a scholarship to Florida Atlantic University. And I can't tell you how thrilled I was, because I didn't think I was nearly good enough to even come close. But I got that, and so I've been playing serious music with different bands and things like that for 30 years. That has nothing to do with my age or anything. Anyway, I had all but, I'd give lessons and things like that, kind of to stay away, because I was having issues with myself and the church and God. And it was when I went back and met Kim in MCC Paducah that I was able to come out of that and able to come out, period, but able to be able to play with people who were like-minded and I just renewed my relationship with Christ, and it turned out that we got together, and we've been together just doing this nursing home, and it's a blessing. God has opened these doors, and it's like, I used to pray, God, show me what you want from me, and now it's showing me, and I'm running, trying to keep up with everything. But it's the most wonderful feeling. I cannot tell you how free I feel, and God has lifted a great weight and given us music together. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So I talked her in to actually, I'm like, CJ, let's go play music for God. And she said no a few times, and I'm like, yeah, do this. So she went back to Chattanooga. I was still in Paducah, but I knew God was calling me to do something else, and it was actually a song that actually pointed me in the right direction. And she played that song the first time I heard it. What's it called?
Here I Am, God.
It's called Here I Am, God. And maybe that's a song we'll play for you. Because that song started this ministry and brought us to the point where we're at now. I mean, for her leaving Chattanooga
God showed us through that song.
meeting, I went and picked up her in Chattanooga with everything loaded up in the truck, and we drove up here to Flint, and the first week, we played that song, and that song actually saved our lives too, because we had that first night we got here from Michigan, from Chattanooga.
I mean, from Chattanooga to here again.
Right. We were playing that song, and the night that we were playing it, I'm like, we're practicing it because we just love that song. It was so important to us.
Hours, and we just.
And I was
so
like,
in love with this song.
CJ, does that sound like a train to you?
I was like, well, it could be, but don't worry about nothing.
So we didn't worry about it. We just kept playing the song, and the next morning we wake up to 16 trees down around. Our house that we lived in for 3.5 years was totally in the woods, and there was trees. It was like,
I mean, uprooted with the bigger than this, like to the end of the
Huge.
gut. That's just a root system, and
and it really was. Must have been a tornado or something that came through, because but we played that song and it was fine. It was untouched.
it was untouched.
Very powerful song.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what brought us here, and
Yeah, I learned about it because the phone kept ringing. And you know how it is when you're trying to do something. So I was like, just ignore the phone. Well, we got done practicing finally. Hit the playback on the messages, and they're like, was it a tornado? Is that what it was?
straight. I don't know what it was,
But everybody kept calling, going, it's on top of you. Get in the basement. Get in the basement. And by that time, it had passed. We had finished singing. It had passed, but in the morning, God showed us.
see all the trees down. It was amazing.
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
It's a powerful moment.
yeah, it was a powerful moment. Powerful song.
Powerful song.
Yes, yes, very much. I have had schooling in music. I went to the Flint Institute of Music and studied voice there, and so we learned how to use our voices pretty good, and she's teaching me how to do harmony and everything. So,
Yeah.
but I just
Good at it
knew,
now.
I knew when I
She's
met
too
her
good.
that she was the missing piece. And,
Yes, you did. You said.
yeah, I said, you're the missing piece, and we've got to do this. And, God has brought us on this journey. And he said, go start a ministry, And I'm like, why? And so I didn't even know when my heart was saying start a ministry.
We just started
really.
playing for church. Before this all happened, we were playing every Sunday at this little church we found. We hadn't been here, I don't know, a couple of weeks when we said, let's go check out this
MCC,
NCC church. And there was literally very, very small. We were just like, we need to be here. We need to build. We need to work. This is where we're going to start. But we were there every Sunday, of course.
No, that Sunday they asked us to play music, and so we played music
That's right.
every Sunday there since then.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, well, we play music. Well,
3.5 years.
Amazing music, amazing talent.
Yeah,
And
it's just amazing. God
Yes.
made the way before we even got here. He had a church for us to play in, because I was the music minister in Paducah for 7 years before I came here. So, so when we left we didn't know really. We kind of jumped. I call it jumping.
Yes, we did.
Jumping
Steve
into something.
Harvey says you got to jump. You got to have that faith.
Put yourself
and
out there.
jump.
Yeah.
Put yourself out there. That's right.
Yeah. So what you're saying MCC? What does MCC?
That's Metropolitan Community Churches.
Okay.
Yes.
They're a Christian-based
Yes.
church, and
they're all over the world.
yes, they are. And they open their arms to everyone.
To all
There is
people.
no one that is turned away from either communion, because so many have been, but communion is for everyone, and it's
just
the
a
most
great
loving.
church.
Yeah.
And there was a church, I was a music ministry in Paducah
Right.
too, was MCC Paducah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
So what does ministry mean to both of you? What does it mean? What's the feeling you get?
Service for me it's I'm very humbled because it is working for the Almighty and doing what I love to do, which is singing and playing the piano and doing harmony. But what he has showed me, and I say he, in my world, Father God is how I see that. But he showed me these people in these nursing homes, and they were forgotten. And I'm like everybody else. I didn't really want to go and be around the elderly because you fear. I feared the elderly. I really did. What happens if I touch them and they pass away? God said, you'll not tap out of them. I said, okay. But I was afraid, so we went, and after each time we'd go to a nursing home, Kim would hug.
now I gotta
Go out
tell a
and
story
hug.
about that. Yeah.
Okay, but yes, God showed me this and showed me this path, and it has grown. It has grown exponentially, and the fear is gone.
So being in service to me is getting outside of myself and my needs and putting others in need, their needs first, and being a blessing to every single person that you meet, or and sharing our music.
Amen.
I mean, there was times back in my past, I only played what I wanted to hear, what I liked, and the artists that I like to hear.
We're gonna be a
Christmas,
star.
and yeah, all that kind of stuff. Now it's not nothing about it. Everything has
Nothing.
changed.
Yeah.
Everything is about what can I do to lift this person now. What can I do to make this person smile with this song? And so it's all about seeing now through not my eyes, but through the eyes of God, and loving people, not through myself, but through God. Even the unlovable. Where somebody I would go, oh no, I don't want to be around them. I used to judge people. We all judge people. Now, that's, I definitely do not want to do that. I'm not saying I'm not perfect at it, but I'm a lot better than I used to be. And so it's just working towards,
I'm learning from her.
letting God move through us instead of us being in control and living life through our egos and through our earthly bodies, or more spiritual. And that's, living through spirit.
So for you, you have your religion now. It's MCC, and it's a Christianity.
Christian base,
Okay,
yes.
Christian base, and then you also mentioned spirituality. So
Yes.
do you see them as interchangeable or having differences? How does that go for you?
Well, I don't see myself as religious at all. In fact, I just don't, because religion
Let me down and
let me down, and religion is made by people, okay, right? People separated from the churches and made all these other little churches and, their own little rules. Well,
Right.
a spiritual relationship with our Creator is a relationship. And that's what, I want, and that's who I am. I have nothing to do with religion.
We study
I
and
mean,
read the
people
word
teach his
daily
own,
because we really just want to absorb it and have a personal relationship with our Father Christ the King. Whereas before, when you're under religion, you are told what to do, and you're also told. There was a time that I went to a very high positioned preacher, and I had had something devastating happen in my life, and I wanted to know, look, because I've had an abortion, because I had 2 in the 70s, what do I need to do? I'm so worried that, this is going to affect my salvation. And that particular minister said, there's nothing you can do. You're going to hell. And I mean, I just, it broke my heart, and I left there thinking, I deserve it, And it took a long time to realize that individual not only was incorrect and wrong, but how awful to say that to someone who is seeking God and say, you have no chance. So, I'm just segueing off of that. Yeah.
So we
Took
have
a long time to
relationship.
get back to it.
So it's a relationship to the Creator, or
Yeah.
higher being,
However
or
you
God,
see it.
however you.
Exactly.
However you choose to,
It is a relationship.
everybody has a different, view and can relate to God in different ways, and so.
And that's cool.
So going from that, using that relationship, and then looking at your ministry and your music and how you're working in the community as well, are you creating those similar relationships to other people, or is that something that leads your way when you're communicating with others?
Oh yes,
Definitely.
on a daily basis. We wake up every morning, and we have our prayer time, and we talk to Jesus, and
We read Jesus Calling by Sarah Young.
Yeah, we read Jesus Calling every morning, 2 versions of it, and we watch a lot of positive, and read a lot of
Joyce
positive
Meyer
books
and right.
and stuff like that.
And we
So
pray.
yeah, pray
We go
and
to
talk
silence.
But when you ask God and your Holy Spirit to come down in you, then He leads you every day, through everything that we say, through loving each other, and working in the nursing homes. I gotta tell you this little story just about that, because when we first started doing this, we played at a nursing home, and it was probably maybe the first or second one we played at, and it was on a Valentine's Day, and we played that hour. We played for an hour, and we got done, and I just had a real strong feeling, and I actually heard the words, "Go hug them, every one of them, and tell them that I love them." And that was like probably the strongest voice I've ever heard in my head, and I believe it was God. And so I'm like, really? And I'm not a hugger per se. My family were kind of used to hugging maybe at Christmas time or on birthdays and on special occasions, but, so I didn't grow up as a big hugger, and I'm like, okay, so that is actually part of what we do now. When we play for an hour, when I get done, she continues to play, and I go and give every single one of them a hug and tell them that Jesus loves them. And that's just part of our ministry. But that's how God has changed us, from not wanting to hug somebody to, hugging people, not of my own self, but from God, because for me, I can't do those things, but through God, I can do all things.
And you can touch them, and they haven't been touched.
You can love people through God's eyes, not your own eyes, and see people through His eyes, and you see that, we're all the same.
Yes,
we're
we
all the same. We're all hurt. We've all been
broken.
Domesticated, by different people, or whether it's our family or parents or teachers, and who's to say those are the right ways? We only know what's in our heart, and that's between you and God, your Creator,
That's
right? And what you're supposed to be doing, not what other people say you should be doing.
Right.
So that's huge for us, and so these guys at the nursing home, they're just so. It's amazing. I never saw myself. I thought I was going to be a rock and roll star. That's what I always wanted to be.
Back it
I
up.
never saw
I was
myself
gonna be a star.
playing in the nursing home. Well, I never
know
saw
it.
myself, but I
know.
wanted to.
Right?
I know. Come on now.
In a nursing home, you think about that in being star. Nursing home, no, they kind of don't go together. But everything changed.
Yes,
It
and-
wasn't about me,
No.
my wishes.
Now it's about, it totally changed, and now when we leave there, we feel like we've played in front of 10,000 people.
We're so blessed.
The joy that we feel because we've given our joy to somebody else, you know, and that whole room, when they wheel them in, they're just kind of, you know, they're in like this, you know, and then we start to play, and they start perking up, and they start smiling, they start tapping their feet, they start singing, you know, so, I mean, that exchange is just so awesome. You know, I just can't imagine, you know, and so it's just so important for us to raise these people out that have been forgotten. And so many of them, you know, when God said, go hug them on that Valentine's Day, there was only one person in there that had a family member with them. You know, and there was probably 40 people in there. You know, and they just don't, you know, people, you know, oh my God, they're so wise and smart and have so much, you know, but they're, you know, that's the last stop. For a lot of people, you know, unless they're in rehab or something.
And we know when we go back to, you know, the nursing home circuit, we know if one of our people is not there, we know what happened. And I'll tell you,
It's just the last stop for them, and
it's the last stop.
and it's sad, and it's sad that, you know, families get too busy, you know. So I mean, it's music and whatever things that the activities director has planned for them, you know, I mean, that's all they have to look forward to. Other than that, pretty much they're in their rooms looking forward to what?
Second coming.
You know, I mean, and so with this, you know, we want to just raise them up just a little bit more, you know, and give them a gift. We're playing 11 different places in December.
Yes.
Different nursing homes, and
the reason for
we-
all of this in this season is we're hosting a benefit, the Blankets of Love, for these folk.
So what is the Blankets of Love, Free to Be Ministry, and the concerts? What is this all about, and what drove you to do it?
well, like I said, you know, we've been so touched by how the music that we play touches them, and we were just so amazed. And
We've done it,
it's-
what, 3.5 years now?
3.5
We've been
years,
through
yeah.
the Christmases, and, you know, you see the ones that have family, and oh, how joyous
Well,
are they.
yeah.
And then there are all those who don't. You know, a lot of them have a little baby doll they hug, and, you know, but we wanted, this is being the 3.5 year mark, we know something tangible, something as small as a blanket or a shawl, or, you know, these things to give to them, each resident that comes to, you know,
One of our concerts.
Yeah, we're gonna give that to them, and I'm gonna tell you, I'm already expecting such a glorious, you know, reception from these people. I just can't wait for it, but we need help.
Yep.
We need help. We need help getting the word out. We need help for people to come, and, you know, if you can't do, you know, little blanket, little shawl.
Right. So we're having a concert next
The 11th.
on the 11th, November the 11th at 7 o'clock
Right.
at Christ the King Church, and it's in Flint off of Lapeer Road close to Dort, and they're partnering with us. And we're holding our concert there at benefit, and there's going to be, our band is going to play, the full band, and we're going to have my brother's band called Three Piece who's playing, and another gentleman who is a soloist, Danny Paul, who is a country singer, and he's going to play also. And we're not charging to get in. We're just hoping somebody can bring a blanket,
but
or
if you don't,
you
we
know,
understand. You know.
or some kind of personal item.
Certainly.
You know, other than blankets, like
Grippy socks.
Grippy socks.
That they put on their feet so they don't fall. You know, they're grippy, real grippers.
hand lotion, you know, stuff that just make them feel better.
Chapstick, you know, just a little something for them. So
Surprise them. Yeah.
So they know they're not forgotten.
And Is there a way for people to make monetary donations if they're unable to actually physically come to the concert or bring a blanket or?
Absolutely. You can make a check out to Free to B Music Ministries, and you can we can
Right
you
in
can
the
post the
memo
address.
line, you know, blankets for love.
Right.
You know,
You can post the address on whatever link that you do. They can send it by mail, or they can go to Free to B Music Ministries.org and donate through PayPal through there if they'd like to do that. Or they can stop at one of the drop boxes that we have. Bridge Church has a drop box there. Dr. Pashket's Chiropractic has a box there. MCC Redeemer has a box.
The stars of night, I will make their darkness bright. Who will bear my light to them? Who shall I send? Here I am, God. It is I, God. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go now. If you need me, I will hold your people in my heart. I'm the God of snow and rain. I have borne my people's pain. I have wept for love of them. They turn away. them. Who shall I send? Here I am, God. It is I, God. I have heard you calling in the night. I will go now. If you lead me, I will hold your people in my heart. I will hold your people in my heart.
Okay, this is a song called Monarch, and it's about our lives and the transformations that we make throughout our lives, and versus the transformation of the monarch butterfly. So it's called Monarch. Ready?
Fly, butterfly, fly away, all the way to Mexico. The journey you take is not an easy one, as it was when you were young. Fly
So Free to Be Music Ministries, you can find us on Facebook as its own website. We also have our website, and it's freetobemusicministries.org, and that's where you can donate any monetary monies. Hit the donate button on that, and it'll bring you to PayPal. And also, we're on Reverb Nation /Free to Be. I want to tell you again about our Blankets of Love concert that we're hosting on November the 11th at 7 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so come on out and bring a blanket, enjoy some entertainment.
It doesn't cost a thing.
Right, except for a blanket.
And a blanket.
Yeah. And let's see what else.
You'll hear 3 different artists of different types of music.
Right.
You'll
3-piece
hear
band.
us, 3-piece, which is a lot of reggae and just wonderful original music. And then our gentleman Danny Paul with country, and then you have us.
Yep, so.
Yeah, down home. So it'll be nice.
So come out and join us. We'd love to have you and show your Christmas spirit with us and getting these folks some blankets and a little something for Christmas. And we appreciate you. God bless everything that you do. And we thank you
Ahead of time.
For all your donations.
Generosity.
And making Free to Be Ministries and the Blankets of Love a great success this year.